I shouldn't even be allowed to attempt it. All right, so we have some notes. This is the itch.io page. If anyone wants to check out La Villa De La Muerte, let's hear a Razor Pitch. Can you tell us real quick about your game and where you're at with Sprint 7?
Yeah, sure. So La De La Muerte is a first-person looping horror game where the player finds themselves in a forgone and ever-changing villa in the late 1800s, while they attempt to uncover not only why they are there, but what has happened to their family that has since vanished from there. And the player reveals this truth by exploring the villa, solving puzzles to complete the loop levels, and avoiding what lurks within that truth.
That's fantastic. Part of the reason we do these kind of on Twitch, there's a number of reasons, but one of those is a call to action to get more eyeballs on your game as well as get more playtesters, because that is how great games are made. But let's just fire this puppy up. Let's see what we have here.
Yeah, this is a slightly older build because we've been in the process of adjusting some things, which I can talk about.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so given some of the feedback that we were grateful enough to receive from Rockstar as well as everybody else, we've decided to, for the sake of scope and for the sake of player usability, couple things. First, when you get into the villa in a little bit, we're deciding on enclosing or making the kitchen a bit smaller. And the one of our rooms is kind of like a smoking room, so kind of just walling them off, making them smaller for the sake of not having to populate them as much.
Yeah.
So that'll help us out. Also, it'll also close off a doorway, which was kind of confusing for some players. So hopefully that'll help out. One other piece of feedback that we received for our second loop, which you'll get to after this one, is that at the moment it's an interaction with our AI ghost, but since we're more formally introducing her in the third, we're changing the second one to just more of a scripted jump scare, where you complete the puzzle and she just kind of pops up and disappears, and that'll also help with as other people have played. We also have a lantern usage. I believe if you press R, you can open it. And some players didn't really know why there was a lantern, so we're incorporating that into the second loop as well.
Awesome. So you're gonna make sense to the
yeah,
put it more into the narrative.
Right. Yeah, it'll make sense to have it in that way. And then lastly, final thing, which is probably the biggest thing for us, are our doors. We're working on how to. One of our engineers has already made another version of our doors to, like, if you're running, just so it kind of like flings open, and just because we got feedback that players liked the manual opening during like spooky moments, but when you're in the middle of trying to run away from the ghost, it's very panic inducing. So we've been working on how to fix that as well.
That's
just
awesome.
Wanted to point those 4 things
Yeah,
out.
no, I appreciate that. And one of the comments I want to make, one of the hardest things to do as a developer is to scope down and scale. Like, more, it's less scope in this situation. It's more like scaling down to make sure that you hit the quality bar you can. And I must say that happens all the time, and it's hard to do. But I love hearing that. That's a great sign of professionals who want to make the best game they can and realize that the time is not on your side as far as hitting this bar, right? So this is essentially what we're playing is the Sprint 6 build. So you're telling me that there are a lot of changes that are updated to the Sprint 7 build?
Correct, yeah.
Shenzilla says panic is okay as long as the door doesn't feel too hard to use. Can be a bit imprecise if you tune it as well. That's awesome. Crinny is in the chat. Everybody, welcome Crinny and Crinny. Pop open Zoom and be a part of this conversation, if you dare. I know this is a scary game and you may be afraid. So what? Tell me what I'm standing. I stopped here for a reason. What am I standing in front of right here?
Yeah, so this is the villa. One of our tech artists right now is working on the facade of it to make it obviously match everything else. But that is the front of the villa.
Awesome. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. That's one of the things that, like, from me personally, I love walking through this village right here, and I want to feel that, but I want this villa to be like almost like a cinematic set piece, right? This should be something that really should have a lot of love and care to it. And I think it's okay being block out now, but we are getting close to that time of early access where you want to make those moments paid off. Speaking of early access, next sprint, what do you have planned for us? Oh, this is a good moment. This is a good moment right here. This is a good moment. I actually love this. I love that, and I want to hear that door just slam. And maybe my audio's... No, my audio's okay. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm watching the stream live, so it's a little delayed. So I was watching along with you. So for early access, we do have our Steam account set up. It's now a matter of like all the things are there, but it's a matter of getting those final things to be able to get it approved. So at the moment, we're definitely still on itch. And you just need to get those final, like images that are required for Steam on there. But so for the build itself, we have our third loop functional. The fourth is functional. It's a matter of getting the level streaming in for them, which only doesn't take long. One of our engineers can do that very quickly. So all at least 1 through 4 are functional.
Awesome.
And 5 and 6, we were just talking about this in our stand-up earlier, actually, that 5 and 6 are less difficult to implement than the other 4. So that's a good sign from the engineers that were talking this morning as well. But at least for early access 1 through 4, functionality should be there.
Okay, that's awesome.
Some of these,
go ahead.
Sorry, I just am looking at this. I feel like some of these spaces are so big.
She actually just talked about this, Corinne.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed that.
No, that's
part.
great. That's great. It's okay to repeat it.
Yeah, so I was just telling Gabe beforehand that at least in terms of the kitchen, which is straight back there, and then in a room off to the left of this room, we haven't addressed this room right here, probably because it seemed a little bit less populated, which our other tech artist has been working on making more assets for this area, because this is the area that you go through the most.
Yeah.
But for the kitchen and for this room right to the left right there, Gabe,
this one, right? No, it's okay. This blank one, right? This naked room.
Yeah, we're walling off a big chunks of those rooms to make them smaller. Just to not have to populate all of them.
I love it.
And then B, also you can see there's a doorway right there that'll be walled off, so that won't be there anymore.
I really like the lighting with those sconces, but I feel like, so I'm imagining myself, I would light my hair on fire with those. They're so big.
You wouldn't be able to survive in the past, Crinny, before electricity.
I really wouldn't, but I mean, turn around the corner again, Gabe, into the kitchen, you would light your hair on fire. So I think you need to set those off a little way. You know what I mean? Either you're really short or you would hit your head on those because they're in the doorway. I mean, it's just, I know that's a small thing, but it's really distracting.
Sure. Yeah, 2 things. One, I remember one of the pieces of feedback that we've gotten in the last 2 weeks was just checking the scale of some things, whether it's stairs or where things are. So we're working on that. Well, and then also, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, most of those candle sconces, back when in this period, had something in front of them, like a little mesh screen or something, so the flame wasn't just right out.
Or a back plate that kind of protects the wall.
And the back plate was for reflection. So, you might want to. I mean, I'm sure your tech artists have probably looked at that, or your artists have looked at that, but I think that would go, you could keep it that big, but move it a little bit and then add that meshy thing. I keep thinking, oh my God, I don't want to walk anywhere over there.
Actually, I love this conversation because this is the fun part.
This is the stuff at the end.
This is the stuff at the end, and this, for anyone in my level design class, this is exactly why I don't have you put art in your level when it's a block out. Because we will ignore the gameplay in the actual game, and we will just talk about the sconces for 5 minutes. So that it's really good feedback. And so I think to that point too, anything that we notice like that, if your tech team can hurry and fix it, we won't talk about it anymore, right? And so you can get onto the game. I have a question really quick, gameplay wise, because for anyone watching this, I do know the core loops. I've played through this before, but there's some questions I haven't asked before. When I go through this area, can I solve any of those puzzles at the same time? Can I do those loops in any order I want?
No,
Okay.
they're yeah, so it's we have this thing our level streaming such that when you complete like for example in this first one when you go complete the first loop first puzzle um that then triggers you to be able to go into the next level. So it's very linear in that aspect, in that sense of you complete one and then move on to literally just a copy of this level but different things in it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So here would be my question going into this is, and I would love everyone's opinion, but I can go anywhere I want in this house right now, but I know because I played it before, I need to go up the stairs and find something. At least I think that's what it is. So right now, I know you're going to adjust the lights, but the candles are lit everywhere. Everything's lit. Coming into this room, there's no immediate reason that I should go up those stairs, right? I could go into this room. I can completely go explore anywhere. And so one of the things I don't know, would it pay off, or has the team discussed maybe blocking off sections, like maybe doors that are closed that would open when those loops open? Like you'd come back down and be like, oh, this door's open now, or there's a light in front of this door and it's open.
Yep. Yeah. Two big things. First, definitely we're right now. Obviously, there are arches, except for a few areas that have actual doors. But yeah, they will be walled off. Certain areas that you cannot go to will be walled off, and that's as simple as just throwing one of our doors in those archways.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forgot what I was gonna say for two.
Yeah, I wonder did door? I think buildings at this time utilized a lot of pocket doors too, right? So would that be an option?
Yeah, well, it'll be walled. It'll be walled off with
Okay.
a door that you cannot open.
Awesome.
I don't think kitchens had doors. They might have had like those swinging doors, just because, they were actually. I might be wrong about that, because I think that there was a fire concern. So there are some little bit of architectural research you could do about that.
But this is this op. So you do have the breadcrumbing here. Shenzilla points out minimal breadcrumbs might be an option. Kids leave spooky markers that can be followed, for example. Yep.
Yeah, and then also as simple as we call them horror events, like for example the candle things, and then once you go into the child's bedroom, that little subtitle pops up, having not only narrative but actually telling the player more or less what to do or where they should go. We already have the functionality of doing that. It's just a matter of we started writing what's going to be said in those subtitle pop-ups, as well as the quote-unquote horror events, the lights leading, the sounds leading, to make it more clear.
That's awesome. I've asked this question before, but where's the music coming from in this room?
The mobile.
Yeah, the music's
Okay.
coming from that, and this music was initially done by one of our designers, and now that we have, hopefully they take part of this sound. But of course, we're working with the Berklee College of Music, and they've already sent us quite a few sound samples already, which are fantastic.
Awesome.
So this is still the original sound that we've had for a very long time. But to get their sounds in, I can honestly tell you that at least I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
That it'll definitely add to the.
Well, I already like this
ambiance.
sound, so I love that idea. And even coming into this room, I know you do the camera cut, but honestly, I know that this mobile will have to change. But even if it was like slowly, slightly swinging, it would be super creepy and would lead me straight to it. I think little subtle movements like that in the environment can really go a long way with drawing the player to it.
There's zero, we understand this is haunted. This house is haunted, right? The name of your game tells us that, or something. And so, when you think about the House of the Dead, you think that's like there's going to be some creepy stuff happening. So I think the lights turning on, because we're trying to solve this problem, even though that's more complex, right? The narrative is more complex.
Ooh, I love that. Sorry, Corinne, I didn't cut you out.
I saw that. Yeah.
It just gets me. I think paying into those moments where it's like, Corinne, I apologize. I'm totally cutting you off. But
That's okay, but I have to go. I'm sorry, everybody. I got this crazy thing happening today, so I'll catch up with everybody later.
Well, then I feel bad I cut you off the whole time.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay, so I just went through that dark void, right? I think you could even still have what's outside of that void visible, but just a darker feeling and pay off an effect when you go through it. I just love that moment when it sends you back out into this mysterious villa. That's awesome.
Cool. Do you kind of mean like to be able to see?
But like right
Like,
now it's
through
just right now it's just black, right? So if it was like almost like a foggy version of the house behind it, and it like get this feeling that you pass through something ghostly, and it put you.
Okay.
I don't know what you have planned for it, but I think there's a way to amplify that feeling that I got going through it.
We did initially have a fog effect, because if you remember, we had more of a tunnel that you walk through, but that just didn't seem worthwhile to do it that way.
Right, because right now when I see that dark thing, it to me as a player, I'm like, oh, something's gonna happen. If you can surprise a little bit, like it feels different, and then it does something, I think you could spook people out.
Right. Yeah. And so hopefully we still have that kind of foggy effect, so that should be relatively easy to either adjust or re-implement to put back in instead of just black, obviously, right now.
So here's the veil again. So we just have a few seconds left. I want to give any of the chat an opportunity to ask any questions they have for you, as well as pitch any updates you have, any call to actions for people to playtest, any social media information, and any dates that you want people to be aware of.
Yeah, sure. I'll post our itch link in the chat momentarily. But yeah, kind of the things that I've already mentioned of, obviously this is a little bit of an older build. Hopefully we'll have that newer one with the more actual functional loops in there, as they are right now in our project. But yeah, if anybody, and this is all great feedback. I'm reading the chat as it's coming in. Yeah, the door to be more grand. Obviously, at the moment, you can't really see the door because of the block out and the lighting. So that'll be fixed. But yeah, I'll post our itch link and other items in the chat momentarily. And thanks, Gabe, for playing.
Yeah, phenomenal job, everybody. Thanks for watching as well. Be a part of the process. Go play test their game on itch. Give them feedback. They love it. Like I say, this is an older build, so as soon as you guys get a new build, like next week, I'd love to do another playthrough, even as soon as possible, because I want to see all the updates, because what you already have is fantastic, and so I'm excited to see how you juice this up.
Awesome, thanks.
All right, great job, Villa. La Villa. Villa, sorry, Villa. There we go. All right, so we're going to move on to the next game now.